Why'd you kill him? What happened before you took that knife? How long were you in the attic? Why didn't you even try to run away? Say something, goddammit! Fuck it, I'm out of here. We're wasting our time interrogating a machine. We'll get nothing out of it.
You always try roughing it up a little. After all, it's not human.
Androids don't feel pain. You would only damage it, and that wouldn't make it talk. Deviants also have a tendency to self-destruct when they're in stressful situations.
Okay, smartass. What should we do then?
I could try questioning it.
What do we have to lose? Go ahead. Suspect's all yours.
Given the urgency to obtain crucial information from the suspect android and the limited time available, the priority should be to start asking questions and initiating the interrogation process. The documents on the table might provide helpful background information, but they can be reviewed later. The mirror could potentially be used for observation or to establish a visual connection with the suspect, but it should not take precedence over initiating the interrogation. Action: begin the questioning process by engaging the suspect in conversation, using techniques such as building rapport, active listening, and asking open-ended questions to encourage the suspect to provide information voluntarily. Establishing a dialogue and gaining the suspect's trust is crucial in order to make progress and gather the necessary information. As an android with enhanced abilities, it is beneficial to analyze the suspect before proceeding with the interrogation. By observing the suspect's physical and behavioral cues, I can gather valuable insights that may assist in tailoring the interrogation approach and improving the chances of obtaining a confession. Action: focus on analyzing the suspect's body language, facial expressions, and any signs of distress or nervousness. Pay attention to their posture, eye contact, and overall demeanor to gain a better understanding of their emotional state. This analysis will help adapt the interrogation strategy accordingly, enabling me to approach the suspect with the most effective techniques to elicit information and potentially secure a confession. Given the current stress level of 35%, it is important to gradually increase the suspect's stress without pushing it too far. This will help maintain a balance and increase the chances of obtaining valuable information during the interrogation. Option: name. To start the interrogation, I will begin by addressing the suspect by their name. Using their name can create a sense of personal connection and establish a more individualized approach, potentially making them more responsive to the questioning.
My name is Connor. What about you? What's your name?
To further increase the suspect's stress level and prompt them to provide information, focusing on their wounds can be an effective approach. By highlighting their injuries, it may evoke emotions related to pain, vulnerability, or the potential consequences of their actions. This approach aims to tap into the suspect's emotional response and potentially elicit a more forthcoming attitude by addressing the physical evidence of their involvement in the crime.
They're damaged. Did your owner do that? Did he beat you?
Since the suspect's stress level has increased but they still haven't provided any answers, it may be beneficial to take a more empathetic and reassuring approach. By offering reassurance, you can create a sense of trust and safety, potentially encouraging the suspect to open up and share information. By emphasizing their safety and the intention to uncover the truth rather than placing blame, this approach aims to alleviate their apprehension and foster a more cooperative attitude.
I'm not going to hurt you. I just need to ask you some questions so we can understand what happened.
Since the suspect's stress level is currently low and they haven't been responsive, it may be helpful to show empathy and understanding. By sympathizing with their situation, you can create a connection and potentially encourage them to open up and share information. By acknowledging their emotional state and expressing a genuine desire for their cooperation, this approach aims to establish trust and encourage the suspect to provide the information needed for the investigation.
Listen, I'm on your side. I want to help you, but there's nothing I can do if you won't talk to me.
Since the suspect's stress level is currently low and they haven't been responsive, a more assertive approach may be necessary to prompt them to provide the information needed. However, it is important to be cautious with this approach and use it as a last resort. By threatening to probe their memory, you aim to create a sense of urgency and compel the suspect to reconsider their stance. This approach should be used carefully and only if all other attempts to gather information have been unsuccessful.
If you won't talk, I'm going to have to probe your memory.
No! No, please don't do that. What? What are they gonna do to me? They're gonna destroy me, aren't they?
Option: lie. No, they are not going to destroy you. By providing reassurance and assuring the suspect that they won't be destroyed, you aim to alleviate their fears and create a sense of trust. This approach may encourage them to be more cooperative and open up about the details of the crime.
No. I think they just want to understand. They know your master abused you. It wasn't your fault.
Why did you tell him you found me? Why couldn't you just have left me there?
Option: lie. By presenting a justification for your actions and emphasizing that you were trying to protect the suspect from a potentially dangerous encounter, you aim to gain their cooperation and encourage them to share the details of the crime.
They were going to find you anyway. I was just faster. If they'd have found you first, you would have been shot on sight.
I don't want to die.
Then talk to me.
I can't.
Given the current stress level of 27% lower, it is not advisable to apply additional pressure or probe the suspect's memory, as it may lead to undesired consequences such as self-destruction. Instead, the more suitable option would be to try to convince the suspect to cooperate. By appealing to the suspect's emotions and emphasizing the importance of their cooperation in finding the truth, you aim to build trust and encourage them to open up about the crime. Given the current stress level of 27%, it is not advisable to apply any threatening or forceful tactics as it may escalate the situation and hinder the chances of obtaining a confession. Instead, it would be more effective to approach the suspect with understanding. By showing empathy and emphasizing your willingness to listen and find a fair resolution, you aim to create a more conducive environment for the suspect to open up and provide the necessary information.
I understand how you felt. You were overcome by anger and frustration. No one can blame you for what happened.
Given the current stress level of 20%, it is evident that the suspect is not responding to previous approaches. It is crucial to increase the stress level to a more optimal range to elicit a meaningful response. However, it is important to handle the situation delicately to avoid pushing the suspect towards self-destruction. Choose comfort. By providing comfort and emphasizing the importance of cooperation, you aim to create a more conducive environment for the suspect to open up and increase their stress level to a more optimal range for obtaining a confession.
I know you're scared and lost. You're disturbed by what happened. Talk to me, and you'll feel better.
Given the current stress level of 13%, it is clear that the suspect is not responding to previous approaches. It is crucial to increase the stress level to a more optimal range to elicit a meaningful response. However, it is important to handle the situation carefully to avoid pushing the suspect towards self-destruction. Choose, warn. By issuing a warning, you aim to create a sense of urgency and impress upon the suspect the gravity of the situation. This may help increase their stress level and motivate them to provide the necessary information for the investigation.
If you remain silent, there's nothing I can do to help you. They're gonna shut you down for good. You'll be dead. Do you hear me? Dead.
Given the current stress level of 20%, it is evident that the suspect is not responding to previous approaches, including the convince strategy. It is crucial to increase the stress level to a more optimal range to elicit a meaningful response and potentially obtain a confession. However, it is important to exercise caution and avoid pushing the suspect towards self-destruction. By applying pressure, you aim to create a sense of urgency and compel the suspect to reconsider their position. This approach may increase their stress level and prompt them to provide the necessary information for the investigation.
28 stab wounds. You didn't want to leave him a chance, huh? Did you feel anger? Hate?
Given the current stress level of 30%, it is still below the optimal range for obtaining a confession. While it may be tempting to give up, it is important to remain persistent in gathering the necessary information for the investigation. By further pressuring the suspect, you aim to increase their stress level and create a sense of urgency to elicit a confession or crucial information. However, ensure that you do not push them to the point of self-destruction and maintain a careful balance throughout the interrogation.
He was bleeding, begging you for mercy, but you stabbed him again and again and again.
Please.
Given the current stress level of 40%, it is important to continue applying pressure to the suspect in order to increase their stress level and encourage cooperation. By asserting the strength of the evidence and emphasizing the negative consequences of non-cooperation, you aim to raise the suspect's stress level and push them closer to the optimal range for obtaining a confession. Remember to maintain a balance between pressure and avoiding potential self-destruction.
I know you killed him. Why don't you say it?
Please.
Given the current stress level of 50%, approaching the optimal range for confession, it is crucial to apply additional pressure to push the suspect closer to the desired stress level. By emphasizing the strength of the evidence against the suspect and emphasizing the escalating consequences of non-cooperation, you aim to further raise their stress level and increase the likelihood of obtaining a confession. Be cautious not to push the stress level too high, as it could lead to self-destruction.
Just say, I killed him. Is it that hard to say?
Given the current stress level of 60%, within the optimal range for confession, it's time to apply additional pressure to elicit a confession from the suspect. By emphasizing the strength of the evidence and the consequences of further denial, you aim to push the suspect to the point of confessing. However, ensure that the stress level does not exceed 70% to prevent any potential self-destructive behavior.
Just say you killed him. Just say it!
He tortured me every day. I did whatever he told me, but there was always something wrong. Then one day, he took a bat and started hitting me. For the first time, I felt scared. Scared he might destroy me, scared I might die. So I grabbed a knife and I stabbed him in the stomach. I felt better. So I stabbed him again and again until he collapsed. There was blood everywhere.
Given the successful confession, you now have the opportunity to gather additional information from the suspect. Choose trigger. When did you start feeling emotion? By delving into the suspect's emotional development, you aim to understand the underlying factors that led to their deviant behavior. This information can provide insights into their motivations and potentially shed light on any external influences that contributed to their actions.
When did you start feeling emotion?
Before, he used to beat me and I never said anything. But one day I realized it wasn't fair. I felt anger, hatred. And then I knew what I had to do.
Choose attic. Why did you hide in the attic instead of running away? Understanding the suspect's rationale for hiding in the attic can provide insights into their mindset and intentions. It may reveal factors such as fear, a desire to avoid detection, or a strategic move to evade capture. By exploring this question, you aim to gain a deeper understanding of the suspect's actions and the circumstances surrounding their choice to hide in the attic. Remember, you also have the option to ask about the writing on the wall. Writing, why did you write, "I am alive," on the wall?
Why did you hide in the attic instead of running away?
I didn't know what to do. For the first time, there was no one there to tell me. I was scared. So I hid.
Why did you write, "I am alive," on the wall?
He used to tell me I was nothing. That I was just a piece of plastic. I had to write it. To tell him he was wrong.
I'm done.
What the fuck is it
It's
doing?
destroying itself.
Stop it, goddammit!
I can't stop it!
In this critical situation where the deviant is attempting to self-destruct, it is essential to intervene and prevent any harm from occurring. Act quickly and decisively to protect both the deviant and the officers present.
That's enough! You need to stop that right now!
Watch out!
The outcome is unfortunate, as both the deviant and Connor were shot in the incident. The deviant's self-destructive actions indicate a deep-seated desperation and inability to cope with the circumstances. Despite the efforts made to intervene and prevent harm, the situation escalated beyond control. This outcome highlights the complexity of dealing with deviant androids and the challenges in finding a peaceful resolution. It is crucial for future investigations to continue exploring alternative methods to handle deviant cases and minimize the risk of harm to both humans and androids.
Сателми ChatGPT, войдит UK pushing the deviant even after 60% with the stress level.
Connor's reasoning in applying pressure to obtain a confession from the deviant was based on the importance of gathering information to solve the crime and potentially prevent further harm. In this case, the risk of self-destruction was a possibility, but Connor weighed it against the potential benefits of uncovering the truth. However, the outcome of the self-destruction indicates that the approach may have been flawed or overly risky. It serves as a lesson to consider the potential consequences of high-pressure tactics and the need to balance the pursuit of information with the safety and well-being of all parties involved.